good evening. Amanda Issa. I am a regional coordinator with the Foundation for California Community Colleges. It's great to be with you all tonight. My job title is just very vague, but it almost encompasses just about everything possible that needs to happen with supporting our community colleges throughout the state. So I do work statewide with an emphasis on the Bay Area colleges, all 28 of them. And so we do a lot of work in helping to support and redesign and look at student success. How can we improve? How can we do better? How can we close equity gaps? It's a deep dive into how we can make our schools just that much better for our students, for our communities. How can we ensure pathways towards careers and towards outcomes that are desirable for students? And how do we keep up to date with an ever-changing workforce? And so if you told me I would have this position when I first started in high school, I'd be like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I give me a map. I don't know how to get there. And that's the thing that we're trying to do as well. We're trying to create these pathway maps for students to have ideas of how to get to their places that they want to go. I started off in neuroscience. I was determined to be in the sciences. That's all I ever wanted to study. I did just about every type of summer camp you can do or after school program in science. I studied that in college. I had full intentions of going to medical school. I actually worked in the ER for quite a long time. Loved just that whole atmosphere, but something happened without getting into too much detail where I just got so drawn to education. I thought that maybe my skill set, although I loved science, was something that I could take to the classroom and just share that with so many more students who can all become the workforce we needed in healthcare. And so I spent over a decade throughout the Bay Area teaching every science subject you could think of, because I just happened to always work at small schools, and every year it'd be like a new class, a new curriculum. So everything from medical chemistry to senior seminars to anatomy, physio, I taught it. And I loved it. I got into the college side of things, the community college side of things, when I started teaching medical assisting as a high school instructor. I got onboarded with the community college to teach dual enrollment. And the purpose behind this was that we noticed our students would go off to a 4-year and just would come back home within the first year. Financial stability is one of the biggest hurdles for our students. And although they wanted careers in health and science, it was hard to financially support themselves through college, and the rigor of the subjects were just weighing on them. So a thought was, why don't we get them started at an entry-level career that had growth, that could also provide suitable wages to get them through school? So we created a medical assisting program. So students graduated high school with a certificate to start working at above minimum wage. And so that's how I got my foot into the door in community college spaces. And then since then, I've worked as instructor, as coordinator, just in different areas about working between that transition space, that high school to college. How can we improve it? How can we support students who've maybe gone a different way from education, and when they want to come back in, how can we support systems impacted students, lifelong learners, everywhere throughout that space? But I especially really enjoy, how do we create that seamless transition from high school to college? So I'm here to talk a little bit about those opportunities that exist in that particular space around STEM, because that's almost clearly like that's my passion. It's like getting in that science education and opportunities for career. So I think it's one, to expose students to science and ensure, like, to fuel that love of that learning, of that excitement, but also to show them what that career looks like in the real world. So if you enjoy doing this kind of experiment or this kind of thinking, these are the careers that are available to you. I just want to show you real quick, this is the team I work with throughout the state. And so there's 18 of us around California that support the community colleges. And I encourage you that if you have a community college in your area that you'd love to partner with and you're not sure where to start, feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to just support those networks. It is really hard to know who do I go to if I want to do something. And we've got people inside who can try to help navigate that way. So please do let me know. This is the team throughout the state. We have this vision about what we're going to do across the state to support students. We really want to increase transfer, which is one of the things I think Emmanuel will talk a little bit about as well with STEM and how important it is to know your pathway when you first get started. We talk a lot about how do we improve the classrooms? How do we ensure that learning is culturally relevant? How do we ensure that students are made aware of opportunities and resources? So we also talk about financial aid supports. How can we make school affordable? How can we make students feel a part of that community? I share this with you all because our colleges are really doing a lot of deep work into recreating that community that exists at our colleges. And with that comes a lot of opportunities in connecting to industry partners, to the high school partners. They're eager for this relationships. And so it's a very exciting time with our colleges. To just share with you very quickly some opportunities that you all have. One big opportunity, if you're a student out there and you're interested in getting into college or like just starting out a little bit, like testing it out, dual enrollment is a great way to take a low stakes course, like a 1 unit or 2 unit course, and see how you feel that college rigor. How does that fit for your learning styles? What kind of courses do you enjoy? This is something that schools often make available through very created, like drafted programs. So like your high school might have a dual enrollment program, but also it's something you can do on your own. You can go sign up by yourself with a parent signature and a principal signature, and you can take classes for almost free or very little cost. And this is a great way to just get your foot into college and see how you feel about it. For the teachers out there who are like, you know, I love the classroom, I want to keep doing this, but I'm also interested in seeing what other spaces I can teach in. I urge you that if you're interested in becoming a college instructor, you can do both. You can do both. If you wanted to work, 18 hours a day or whatever you might feel like. I remember having instructors who were both teaching during the day at the high school, and they'd go teach a government course at night at the community college. If you have a master's in a specific subject, you're qualified to teach at a community college. And I really encourage that for a number of reasons. We need to diversify our higher education field. We need to bring in really qualified teachers in understanding pedagogy and teaching and learning. And so I really do passionately feel that our K-12 educators bring so much to learning that I feel like would have a really great impact and influence on our community college system. So teachers out there, if you're interested, I would check that out. And lastly, people may not realize it, but our community colleges have really strong industry partnerships within workforce that kind of help students who need to stay within the community to get jobs and really have a clear track of where to go within STEM. We have relationships with different laboratories, different computer science tech programs and companies. And so I really do encourage students at the community college to look into that. You can get a lot of one-on-one support and guidance through the different STEM fields into careers because the industry partners want to hire and they don't know where to go to get students who have really specific skill sets. And oftentimes it is the community college. And so this is just a few things to share with you all about what we offer in our spaces. And please do think of some questions you might have, and we'll be answering those in just a moment.
Let's get to some questions. Can students try to reach out to you directly for just some help and direction? Because I know for a lot of students, I imagine that's why they're asking this. For a lot of students, it's very confusing. I think this is something that's really interesting with STEM careers is transferable skills, right? I actually genuinely know through and through that I am much better at my job because I have a degree in biochemistry, even though it's an education. So how do you see your experiences and educational backgrounds really shaping your current work?
I love that you just said that because that was actually what was coming to mind for me, because I was thinking about all the labs I've done from, middle school all through college and beyond. And it was, you had a system and you followed the steps and your outcomes would sometimes work, sometimes wouldn't. I always remember the solving for X chemical lab I did and not getting the right chemical at the end. What could I have done differently? What should I have done this way? That iterative process of being able to see the way to go about the strategy to go about a problem or a conflict and then do it again and identify different variables and adjust and go as you need. I think it builds a resilience. And so I think our STEM students have this different type of resilience to see problems, see conflict, navigate their way, adjust as needed, do it again. And the reason that I feel is so important in my work in particular is we're supporting colleges and partners through systems change. how to adjust, how to go through this. And I didn't realize how difficult it is for folks to go through changes at institutions, or to imagine teaching in a different way, because my mind was so built around doing it over and over again, like always changing, always adjusting things as needed. But more so, I think I've also, having that STEM background, I've had to learn to describe the work to those who are not science-based. And so I had to learn a different type of translation of knowledge that I think has helped in working with partners all across the board. Communication is not just specific languages, it's also like terminologies and ways of work. And so that ability to kind of translate has really helped me in my work. And I loved it when I never really knew what I was doing until I heard a NASA engineer, Diana Trujillo. She said, that's exactly what she does at NASA. And I was like, why didn't I know that? Why didn't I know that was a career when I was in high school? The ability to understand different partners in different departments, the scientists here, the engineers there, and, you know, translate the work and build that partnership all together. That's like a career. Yeah, so it's exciting, the transferable skills you get from being in STEM to all the different ways it plays out in career.
Awesome, thank you. Those are fabulous answers. I don't see any more questions on here, so I will end with my favorite question for panelists, which is, if you had one piece of advice to give to students, or two's fine too, about sort of embarking on some sort of STEM career pathway, what would it be?
I would say, don't let the timing of like your school, like how many years it's going to take to finish something, be the limiting factor into what you want to do. And I say that because I went into as a bioengineer, and when I was told it's going to take me personally 5 years instead of what I thought had to be 4, I totally changed my options because I was so restricting myself by time. If I could go back, and with my younger siblings, they definitely we didn't think of time as a factor, limiting factor. It just opens more opportunities. It really allows you to follow things, your passion, and the things you start yourself to do. So yeah, I would say you can be a student for as long as you want. And like, the workplace is work. I mean, it's great too, but being a student is a time that you want to really soak in as much as possible. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Do I feel you on that? Because I realized that I was not cut out for a career in biochemistry halfway through my junior year of college. And at that point I was like, well, I'll just finish.
Yeah, because you just really spoke to me. And I didn't realize it until my younger brother was struggling. He goes, I'm just not made out for college. And I realized we don't actually share our own struggles. Like, I didn't share with him that I failed, that I went into college at the top of my class in high school, and then I struggled like my entire time in college. And I don't think we share that it's difficult. Failure is part of it, but it's like what you do when that happens. And I don't even think failing it's not a thing you do. You may think it is because the letter matches, but it's like you are learning and you still keep moving from that. And I think it's really important not to let one setback determine everything for you, and just know that as long as you're still moving, you are meant to be there.